What's up, everybody? Big Hurt getting down with Fresh Out, and you tuned into another one of our amazing interviews. And I have a special guest with me here today. I got Fat Rat from Payback Crip, a real G who's gonna share his story, lace you guys up, because you guys always ask some stuff that we can't really answer hands-on. So we're gonna get the story from him. So Fat Rat, man, tell the people a little bit about where you're from, how you grew up, and how everything came about.
Well, I got put on the set in 1979 in elementary school. The homies, my dad sent me to elementary school in a red sweatsuit. And the homie said, you ain't finna have that. So they whooped my ass in the bathroom and told me, you from Payback Crip. My name was Crazy A first, but then the big homies, they seen I like to eat cheese all the time, like extra cheese on everything. You see, I'm a big old dude, so they told me my name was gonna be Fat Rat, and I had to go beat up this other dude, which was 4-5 years older than me, to take the name. So that's how that became. And I grew up in Payback Crip. I've been from Gardena since 1972, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was it like growing up in those times, man? I mean, a lot of people, it's done changed so much, man, as far as how the environment is, man.
Shit, we grew up on loyalty and fighting with your hands.
That's
we
right.
Ain't had to. We wasn't killing people like that. I mean, we was known for shooting and everything, but we was raised in the park fighting, homie. Mm-hmm. So we seen our enemies, we fought.
That's right.
And win, lose, or draw, we went home, put the ice on them ooh-wee knots, mm-hmm. and live to fight another day. This gun shit they got going on now is like, it's way out, bro. It's like they don't have no respect for life, human life.
One of the things too, it's like, it wasn't like you could just put on the clothes and say, oh, I'm a Crip, man, oh, I'm a pirate. It was like you had to be about that life. Now it's like it's got commercial. So it's
right.
changed a whole lot. I mean, and I know how, guys who really had to come from that environment who don't have the entertainment industry behind them, how that looked upon in the streets.
They weirdos. That's all I can say is I'm 51. We look at this new generation like these dudes is weirdos. Somewhere in the crack age, we let them get away, and they just weirdos now. I mean, that's all I can say.
So a lot of these guys actually claiming these neighborhoods, they never probably even been there.
Well, you been had a bunch of that, but put it like this: they didn't have to put the work in mm-hmm. like we did to be from that neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Like we fought and fought and fought. And did we had to do, rob, stole, whatever the hell we had to do with the homies to get put on from the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just I'm finna put on a red shirt and I'm a blood, or I'm from Pyru, or I'm from Payback, I'm from Shotgun. You know what I mean? Niggas had to really get down with they get down. Like, we got a little neighborhood. Everybody ain't tough, but for the most part, my little niggas gonna fight.
Yeah.
We grew up knuckling them niggas up.
Yeah. That's kind of like how it was where I grew up at too. I mean, you pretty much, I started working out because I had an older brother. I had to learn how to chunk him. Go to basketball courts, you might want to get out, like, they call you out and if you don't do nothing, you basically getting punked. So, you had to learn how to fight at a young age, man. But it's a lot different now. These kids, ain't nobody, they ain't really got hands like that no more,
And if you put hands on them, they're going to try to kill you.
Exactly. They're going to come back with a gun. What was your first introduction into, like, the life of crime? I mean, what got you kind of like on that path to hustling?
A lot of my G homies used to go out of town. My neighborhood is riddled with PCP, crack, back in the days. Mm. That's all we did back in the days. Smoke crack, gang bang, sell crack, PCP. That was our get down. My dad was a motorcycle rider. He was original chosen few. So I grew up in that era, so I seen what drugs do. And I was always, I grew up in, I ain't gonna lie, I grew up in a 2-parent home till they died in 2015, 5 months apart. So I wasn't poverty stricken, basically. I had the brand new bike every year, but I was raised in the hood, so I'm gonna go gangbang. Mm-hmm. So instead of being on drugs, I had to sell the drugs, 'cause I like nice shit. My daddy bought me a truck fresh out of high school, a Nissan, well, it was a Mitsubishi. But I had to have rims, I had to have the top cut off, I had to have the music. They wasn't doing all that. So I had to sell me some dope to get it. So yeah, that's what I used to do. That's what introduced me. And I used to have big homies that was really like from Shotgun, which is the other neighborhood in Gardena, they used to go out of town all the time. So I sold rocks. I want to be like them. I need wheels. I need all that. You know what I mean? So that's what introduced me to it, the bling bling.
And I know for a lot of guys from LA, I know you guys have branched out and was all over the country, man. So you guys are really like entrepreneurs in that sense, because when nobody else going out of town introducing a lot of this stuff, 'cause a lot of these places they never seen.
Right.
The cripping and then the certain drugs and how you guys had a structure, so it was a totally different look. And the police in these places, they didn't understand it either.
Yeah, like when I got to New Orleans, there wasn't no goddamn gangs in New Orleans. They was ward banging. That blood shit, them niggas talking about Lil Wayne all them time. There was not no bloods in the 90s in New Orleans, bro. None of that. They was banging wards out there.
Okay.
So then here I come. It was dudes on the East Bank selling dope or whatever. But here I come on the West Bank. Now I got niggas talking about they want to be from Payback and this, that. No, sir. No, sir. I don't get down like that. We gonna get this money. That's what we gonna do. So once I started going out of town, I got introduced to that. That was all she wrote.
So those dudes, when they seen you guys, they were fascinated. They wanted to be gang members. You like, man, we out here to make money. We ain't trying to.
And then they seen that fucking movie, man, Dead Homies. When they seen me on that, it was like, oh, you a real one? You want to do? No, I'm out here to get this money, man. We ain't doing no gang banging. That shit don't mix, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much what got me into it. The bling bling and the homies out on the other side, they used to come through with they fly cars and come through stacking the money and all that. I was like, yeah, I got to do that.
Wow. So what led to you following that, getting caught up, man? I mean, I know like, the fast life, you got a lot of shit happening, man. What actually led to the downfall of everything?
Well, some Colombians or some Cubans, I don't know which one they was, but they came and flooded New Orleans. And the prices was the same. So what the hell I look like bringing some dope from LA to New Orleans and the price same. So I had work. I just had actually I jacked one of the homies for some dope because they played me. So I hooked up one of my boys with Shotgun. His name is Mac, rest in peace. And me and him, he said, man, I got a spot to go, which was Minnesota. So he's like, I said, shit, well, I got dope. He was like, shit, let's go. We went out there and we just bubbled again. You know what I mean? It was like, he took me to Minnesota. I went out there a few times. And then I actually met a dude that was from the Face Mob back in the day, from Scarface crew. And he ended up telling on me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so they set me up. I got out there and I got knocked off.
Wow.
With a half a brick hard.
Oh, man.
That's how come I got the 20 years.
Yeah. So was that Fed time?
Yeah. Well, they thought it was state at first and they gave me a bill. See, Minnesota was green.
Oh, wow.
They gave me a bill. I shook on them. Then when they found out it was crack, that's when the feds hit my house. And I ran. I was out. I ran for like 4 years.
Damn.
Yep.
So once you got into the system, man, what was your experience with that? Because it seemed like you hadn't really had too much interaction with jail or anything before that.
I didn't. I've never been. I've been to I think I did. The longest stint I did in jail was 6 months for a pistol. And you know how we take a deal, go to what's that place out there by Magic Mountain? Wayside. You knock it down at the farm, or I actually was at Supermax one time, but I've never did no state time at all. So when the feds knocked me off, and I ran from them, they gave me like a dove. So I went in there, homie. I always believed in Christ. I've always did my church thing. My brother introduced me to Christ when I was young. So I knew I had God on my side no matter what, because I do a lot of praying and everything. When I got in there, I was so goddamn scared because I'd never been to prison before. I just was like doing a lot of praying, right? And God came to me in my dream and said, you just serve me, you know what I mean? Do right by me, and I'm going to do right by you. You ain't going to do that much time. Well, shit, the judge knocked me in the head with 20 years. So I was like, But one thing I had to do, bro, was I had a mom and dad, and I had a daughter. I had 2 daughters. So I had to stay right to come home for them because I wanted to come home. I didn't think I could do all that time. So with the faith in God and my kids and my mom and dad on the streets, that's how I did the time. Like, I'm still a Crip, but I'm a man first. So I stayed. First, I was reading a lot of bullshit novels, like them the dope dealing books. They showing you all the East Coast and the Heron and the Find and Fly. I was reading them urban novels. I was reading them at first. Then a dude, an older dude, put me on something and said, "Bro, you need to read this." And he gave me Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm not doing no advertising for the dude, but Rich Dad Poor Dad kind of like changed my life.
I read that in there too.
And that made me stop reading them urban novels and get my head right, because I'm gonna go home eventually one day, and I had to do something when I got home. So that changed me from reading about my life as an old, you know what I mean, to learning something new.
So would you say like self-rehabilitation on as far as reading books and stuff kept you out the way?
Ain't no question. And Unicorn, I wasn't scared. You got a lot of dudes in feds talking about they don't want to work for the government. But if you clean up the rec yard, you working in the child hall, you working for the government. I'm a hustler. I sold sandwiches. I was the burrito man, and I worked Unicorn. So I was penitentiary rich. I had stamps up the yang yang when I was
And for those who don't know, stamps was the commodity up in there, so that's what everybody used as a medium of exchange. So
as money, exactly. Yep.
So, like, what are some of the places you hit while you were in the feds?
Well, I started off with my case in Minnesota. And I was blessed with coming to TI, so I did 3 years of TI, and that's how I raised. That's why when I tell people I raised my daughters from jail, my daughters used to come see me because I'm from LA, and all the time in TI. So I did 3 years and some change in TI. We got into a riot with the Serenos, and I end up in Lompoc USP and Atwater USP.
Okay.
Then my points dropped because we bid, and I still was on the same time, bro. Still was trying to work and stay out of the way because I need my points to drop so I can get out this fucking penitentiary.
Exactly.
The penitentiary ain't that nice.
Yeah.
As soon as they walked in, they hand me a knife. I said, "What the fuck I'm gonna do with this?" You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, I wasn't trying to carry no knife up in there or nothing. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. So I programmed, did what I had to do, and got out of there. Went to Victorville. Then the first crack law came, and it knocked 4 years off my sentence. That's when God started working for me, like letting me know, I told you wasn't gonna do all this time. So I went from Victorville to the drug program in Phoenix, got kicked out of Phoenix, ended up in FCI, Oxford, Wisconsin.
Damn.
In the winter. With arthritis.
Ooh, like what, 20 below?
Man, look, the snow used to get so high they had antennas on the fire hydrant so they know where they was at. Antennas sticking, that's how cold it was.
Oh shit. So as you got closer to your release date, man, and you actually, saw that you were coming home, man, what was going through your mind? What are some of the things you did to kind of prepare yourself? Because I know a lot of guys, they, they're doing a time, but when it gets close, they start like, panicking or getting anxiety and stuff like that. I know, or some people get excited, but
I just did the drug program.
Okay.
The drug program mellowed me out, you know what I mean? Because we were still in there getting wrecked, having fun. And I say having fun because a lot of stuff in the prison, it's like, it was my first time. So every day was a new day to me. So everything was something different for me. So it got to be fun to me because now I don't mind fighting. I used to love to fight. So win, lose, or draw, I'm going to get down. So checking paperwork, all that, and then Oxford, Wisconsin is a hot spot. Like the captain came and told me, kicked the door in the interview and said, "Look, I know who you are. I know what you do. If you ask for a piece of paper to write on this thing, talking about some paperwork, your ass gonna be on the bus. And you ain't getting no year off. You gonna be on that bus, and it's gonna take a year for your mail to catch you." So shit. I set my fat butt down, worked out, and read them books I was telling you about to just keep my head right. That's what I did.
And what year did you get out?
I came home Father's Day. Matter of fact, Father's Day this year made 8 years. I came home June 16th, 2011.
And then since you've been home, what have been some of the things you've been able to accomplish and do since you've been home? Well,
I came home. Mom and Pop said, "Stay here, because we getting old. You got to take care of us or whatever, right?" And I was like, "Nah, I want to get my own spot." They were like, "Nah, don't do it." So I end up going to work in the oil refinery, and I hooked up with a place called Second Call. Big John and Skip, they bloods. See, Well, let me back up something first. We have a youth mentoring service right down the street. Before I went to prison, I was changing because we had a thing called One Love back then. And we was on KJLH and everything. We was trying to do the gang treaty thing. And that's when we started bringing the gangs together. And that's what started me on the gang intervention stuff. So when I go to jail, my big homie Taco, he went to jail, but he only did 5 years. He came home. He was in Taft. He came home and opened up Detours. We have a youth center down the street. So, and that's been up and running for at least 15 years now. So when I came home, he immediately hooked me up and said, Dre, Fatty, they call me Fatty or Fat Rat or Dre. Fatty, you want to go, I got a job for you. At this point, I'm working in the oil refinery. He said, I need 25 dudes that want to go to school and be in the union. So he hooked me up with Second Call. So I started going to their meetings too. Like they have meetings, and his name is Skip and Big John. So we have a thing called the Wolf Pack. You know how a Wolf Pack, they take care of their own. So if you stray off, you allowed to get ate up. So they like to keep everything in house. So they got meetings every Tuesday and Thursday, and you don't know who in the meeting with you. Be white people in there, businessmen or whatever, right? You like watching them, checking everything out, but actually you on an interview. So Big John got me in the electrical union. I was fresh out. So I came home, I left the oil refinery and went to school with Big John. Big John started me off at $15 an hour. And that was in 2000, what I tell you I got on? 2011.
Yeah.
So 2011, 2012, I was making $15 an hour, fresh out, going to school and doing electrical work. So I was able to stack my money. I got kind of tired of electrical work because I'm an older dude at the time. And when you going into the electrical field and as an apprentice, they need youngsters because it ain't no age when you can retire. It's a time limit now. And I didn't have 50 years to give them.
Yeah, on top of, yeah.
Yeah, so no, I wasn't finna be no electrician. I bowed out gracefully. I kept my grades up. I hurt my back. I went to the doctor. I got my excuses, and they let me out great. Because if you go out, you owe them money. But I bowed out gracefully, and I opened up a 99-cent store right there next to Detours.
Okay.
So me and old girl, one of my homegirls, we opened up a 99-cent store. Then we became a couple, and that didn't work. So the store didn't. So she left me, and I sold the store. And then I jumped in the transportation business. My boy gave me a job, and I started driving in and out the airport for Carmel Shuttle. Then I ended up buying my own van, and now I got a van and an SUV. So I still subcontracted myself to them. But I also have an SUV that I do black car treatment with people like limousine services. Okay. So, I've been doing that for years now.
So you just basically took what you knew from the streets and now translated that into a legit hustle.
It's a hustle. Everything is a hustle, bro. I don't care what nobody say. If you can hustle rocks in the street and methamphetamine and heroin, whatever you're hustling, if you put your mind to it, you can hustle someone, Because I hustle people like a mug. You look at my Facebook page, I be having Australians, New Zealanders, Canadians. Them folks be in my van partying, laughing. At the end of that ride, let me get that tip.
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about? Break that off.
Yeah.
Separate mine from yours.
And what's some of the plans you have for the future with your business? Where do you see yourself going at with it?
Well, I really want a couple more cars. And I want to get it to where I don't have to count on subcontracting myself to nobody else. I want my own up and running. And I can have my drivers, and I can sit back and do nothing, but make sure they driving right.
Everybody's on point.
Exactly. That's what I want. And then I can venture off with something else, because I read another book I read called Multiple Streams of Income. I don't want to stay in the same business. I want to sell that business. I want to build it, sell it. That's how come I sold a 99-cent store, because they opened up a Dollar Tree not too far, and I had a little 99-cent store, so I know they was going to eat me up.
Oh, yeah, because they had so much more.
Yeah, they got more stuff. Yeah. So guess what? I sold it. Made me a few $1,000s and bought me a truck. Well, I bought me a van at the time, and I did that, and I took care of my moms and pops too. So
But having that background, I mean, you know what it takes to open up another store, what you need to kind of do that.
If I wanted to be in retail,
yeah,
that's not something I can do.
Yeah.
I can't sit behind the counter.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And you're going to have to put in time with that.
And we didn't get to really speak on it, man, but I know you've been into the lowrider scene for a lot of years, man.
Oh, yeah. I was brought in the lowrider industry like in 1990, 89. Me, a dude named Switchman, and we became individuals.
Okay.
Individual Car Club. Yep, and I've been that since.
So that's you've been around with that for a minute then.
Yeah. I low ride all through the prison system and everything. That's all. It's the only thing I missed about the streets, homie, was my kids, my mom, and low riding, and my dad. So.
And what would you tell some of these youngsters out there today who are watching this interview about the streets and about where you came from? Because I see a lot of videos, man, and dudes is holding, they got the ski mask on and they toting the AK or the Draco or whatever, and I'm like, man, it's not. There's so many more things you guys could be focused on. It ain't just that's old, man.
Right. I mean, they need to finish school or go to some kind of trade school and find something that they like to do. Like I deal with the kids in the STEM project, the STEAM or STEM, either one. It's called Science, Technology, Arts, Engineering, and Mathematics. We go into the junior high schools and catch them while they're young. I put my car, y'all think y'all got some pictures of my car. I put my car out there. I put it on 3. I open the trunk and let them see. And it amazes them. And I let them know that drugs didn't get this for me. Hard work got this for me. I built this car myself from the ground up. And I know a little bit about all of it. But if you focus on one, I paid the painter $5,000 to paint my car because I don't know how to paint. I know how to weld, so I save my money on welding. I know how to wrench, so I put my car together. But for the interior, I paid like $1,500 for my interior. The top cost me $800. That stuff I don't know how to do. These kids need to find something that's their niche that they like to do and perfect it and make the money. And then you could build a car, fast car, whatever car you want to, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Just you got to find your niche and something you like. And shooting up people and gang banging and selling dope is not it, because that's going to get you in prison and dead. 2 things out of that. A whole lot of time and a whole lot of time in that ground.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, and hearing it from somebody who lived a life, I think is more effective than when you hear like people who have never really had that, who just rap about it, because most of the guys, if you're rapping, you're not out in the streets, you're in the studio. You're talking about the big homie.
For real.
So, when you look at it, man, it's like a false image that they're presenting to these young people who are so impressionable, man. And I think the narrative needs to be like, people like us who have been through the system kind of showing a more positive light that you don't have to be. It's not, you could be a square and be all right, man.
Ain't no question. Because right now, you can't get me to fight nothing. I ain't finna sell nothing. Nothing. I'm finna do me, man, and finna live the rest of my life. Because the other shit just don't get you nowhere, bro. For real. And like, these rappers nowadays, they rap about it, then go do it.
Which is backwards.
You know what I mean? Like, they got this beef going on with this Slim 400 and I forgot the little dude named Blueface.
Yeah, is that what Blueface?
Man,
I didn't know it was Blueface.
Man, you go look on the internet, man. These dudes is killing people right now, back and forth, and they doing it out their own cars. Oh, we ran the registration. It was registered to Blueface.
Wow.
It was registered to YG. So it's like, I ain't never heard of these niggas before. You know what I mean? I got pulled up on the airport. Nigga told me he was from Dirt Down 30s or something. And then when I called my homies, he said, oh yeah, them the little homies, they ain't never did, they ain't been nowhere, they don't even know half of us. They got a new clique in the 30s, Dirt Gang. I'm like, he told me he had to pull up on me. Quick little story. I cut him off. He wouldn't let me over. I'm coming out the airport. I got people in the car with me.
Yeah.
If you don't, I got a 30-second rule. I turn my blinker over 30 seconds.
Yeah.
If you don't let me over, I'm coming.
Yeah.
So I cut him off. He put up on the side of me. He said, oh, nigga, you fooling with a real nigga from the L.A. I said, you had to tell me that?
Yeah.
So I hit that nigga up. Bam, I hit him up with payback. And I said, nigga, this crip. Like that, right? Because I got people in the back. I said, follow me.
Yeah.
Nigga bust this way like, oh, like something wrong. Like this ain't, yeah, I'm not the one to play with, homie.
Yeah.
I got a big ass torque wrench right here. I'm gonna whoop the shit out you with this torque wrench. I'm not playing no more. You know what I mean? So they doing it backwards, bro. They rapping about it, and then they gonna start killing each other over some lyrics on a song. Are you for real right now? So yeah, they done.
I don't get that either. When you're getting that kind of money, man, there should be so many other things you're focused on rather than.
That's why I respect Dub so much. Cube is a weirdo, but Dub C, so y'all know who I'm talking about. He got his bread. He's still a thug nigga, but he moved a little out, not way out. He still come to the hood. He still do his thing, but he don't come around and hang out because you got too much to lose now. We old. Like my big homie from Supernatural say, Rat, he say, him and Punchy always tell me this, we in the fourth quarter, we trying to do overtime in his life. You know what I'm talking about?
That's right.
We trying to go in overtime. So, and we ain't gonna go in overtime, shooting up, killing, fighting, breaking bones, none of that. None of that, bro.
And you know, I want to also speak on, you know, I always tell people you could be from the streets, but you don't have to be in the streets because, you know, once you start having certain things, you know, there's certain people, even where I'm from, I wouldn't want to go back there and be flossing on that because, you know, dudes is like laying in the cuts, man.
Grinding.
And it's like, you know, you see the thing with, you know, Nipsey, man. I mean, you know, open up a store trying to be positive in one light, but then at the same time, you always got somebody watching who maybe ain't benefiting from that.
Like I said, with that story, you know, we know the real. You can't be in the hood, like you said. You could be from the hood,
That's
but
right.
you can't. I can no longer do the same thing I used to do with all this money.
That's right.
And all this, not popularity, but all this, the good shit I got going on. You know what I'm talking about? I can't do that no more.
You can't be as accessible. You shouldn't.
Can't be
Nobody should
active. We use the word active.
Active, yeah. You can't. It shouldn't be like, okay, I can catch Fat Ray. He gonna be every Sunday over here watching the game. All right, that's his routine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And he just whooped my ass last week.
Exactly.
So nah, you can't be active no more. You can, you know, pass through the hood, pay your respects because that's where you from.
Yeah.
Like I would never sell my mom in them house. I just redone this whole house, and I pass through the hood. I catch my little homies. I holler at them. We kick it for a minute. Boom, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Cause I don't do the same thing y'all do no more. I'm going home, go to sleep. I gotta go to work.
That's right.
I can't do that. So you know, you could pass through the hood, but like, I ain't hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah.
No sir.
Yeah, you gotta look above and beyond that. Is there any last word you would like to share with our audience as far as in closing that you know we maybe haven't spoken on?
Man, just get your kids. Get your kids, man. That's really my main thing is them kids, because we got to put an impression on them kids. These other hard heads, you know, sometimes they just lost.
Yeah.
You got to give them to God. Just give them here. Let them do their thing. But you start them kids out, teaching them right from Jump Street.
That's the future.
And trying to keep them, I'm not saying cage them, but stay in their ear. Be the daddy. Because the government is fucking over us right now with these putting people in jail and putting these beefs together. Because a lot of this shit is brought on by some dumb shit by the government. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like we can go so much deeper into this because it's like the crack era. You know what I mean? They put the crack in the hood. Dog. They made, for people that don't know, me and you know, who knew that crack, an ounce of crack was worth like being charged with 100 ounces of powder. The ratio was 100 to 1.
Exactly.
And that was key to the black man downfall. That was one of them, because the black that targeted us.
Yeah.
Because who sold the crack?
Well, you know, like you said, the people who brought in the birds, we weren't bringing them in from Colombia or wherever they coming from.
We ain't never been. Half of us never even been on an airplane.
Just to go off topic, what do you think about that whole thing when they found $1.2 billion worth of cocaine on that ship coming out of Philadelphia that was registered to I think it wasn't the Rothschilds, but it was J.P. Morgan Company.
Yeah, J.P. Chase Morgan. Yeah, I think that proves our saying right there.
And you know that wasn't the first load.
No, and that might not even been the big load.
Exactly.
That might have been the setup to let the next one go through that was full. You know what I'm talking about? Because like, you know, just like the cartel, they'll set a nigga up with 100 birds, and let you get knocked off.
Yeah, that ain't nothing.
But they got 100,000 that went right behind you in a diesel. You know what I'm talking about? So that's just the way that shit work.
Hey y'all, there you have it, man. Fat Rat from Payback Crip, Big Herc with Fresh Out, man, kicking some real game. This is a real one. Make sure you guys subscribe. Check out all the links in the description and support. This is Fresh Out.